leveraging is a great tool, but you need to understand what you're signing up for.
Yeah.
A job isn't for everyone. School isn't for everyone. I just figured it out. Took on everything to see what I like, what I don't like. I didn't say no to any opportunity.
Yeah. Nowadays, you find the typical young man that says, I don't know what I want to do in my life. In the meantime, just like, I'm just chilling. I'm trying to figure it out. Like, no, you figured it out by doing something, right? As a tax professional, do you believe that people should pay taxes? If you can get away with the legal structure and all the loopholes that exist, should I be paying my taxes?
You can actually seem like an expert because you're giving someone a copy of your tax return. So you could seem like an expert because you look at someone's historical records and you know everything about them, and you could seem really professional.
It's like
really
fake the knowledge, very much.
Yeah, but to actually know what you're doing, you got to keep up. If you were working for someone else, how much do you need today? $200,000. Right. How much do you think you need in 3, 4, 5 years? $200,000. Are you content with $200,000? Yeah. You're never going to make more than $200,000.
Yeah.
Because you don't have the hunger.
Yeah.
It doesn't fit in your plan. Your belief is limited at $200,000.
And even that, you have to be realistic with yourself.
Yeah.
Welcome guys to another episode of Tiki Talks, and today I have a good friend who is a financial advisor, tax strategies. When it comes to finance and money, Ruperto, my friend, is your guy. He's very professional and knowledgeable. Anything that has to do with money. Me and my wife wouldn't do any big decisions without running it by him, and two, because he's a good friend. Know him for more than 10 years now, I think. So it's always pleasant to do business with people that you like and trust. And wanted to bring him here to bring some value to you guys and ask some questions, because money is an important part of our life. Obviously, if you're an entrepreneur, the purpose of being in business is to grow your business, make money, and more than anything, how to keep that money to yourself. So Ruperto, thank you for coming today. Where are you from? Where do you started in your industry in finances?
Well, first off, thank you for inviting me. It's truly a pleasure to be here. I started, my father had a tax practice. He did it on the side. He always worked for someone else. In the 80s, I would say since, I'm sure in the 80s, a lot of families experienced it. They needed extra money. Like most people, even these days, it's applicable.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, who doesn't, right? Exactly. So my father was trying to pick up part-time income on the side. He worked full-time, so he started a tax business. And then I would say, I'll never forget the story. He came with me with a bag of receipts. It's like, hey, total this up for me.
Damn, the receipts?
Yeah, receipts, because it was back in the day.
Yeah.
I actually learned how to do taxes by hand.
By hand?
On paper.
Yeah. Now there's a bunch of systems that you can use.
It was definitely cool. He gave me the receipts. He was like, total these up. So I had the old school calculator, told them up, rip it off, stapled it to the front, then started helping them out. Then I was never a bad student, but I never did great in school. I was always good with numbers and all that stuff, but I never did excelled in school. So I found numbers was easy to me. So I was like, you know what? Let me try to go to school. When I told my parents I was going to school for accounting, they was just as shocked as me.
Really?
They were like, what?
But Chuck happy.
Yeah, exactly. They were happy.
They thought you weren't going.
You're going to school for what? Finance? So I ended up going to school. I got a bachelor's in accounting, a master's in accounting and financial management.
Wow.
So I actually did all that in 4 years.
Wow. The bachelor's and master?
Because I did work hard. I never want to negate that. But a lot of the classes roll over. So when I went for my master's, I got exempt from a few of them since I already took similar classes. Yeah. So I was able to finish faster. So then from there I was going to climb the corporate ladder. Tried certain things, worked in accounting departments and all that stuff.
For different companies?
For different companies. And I found, this is just my personal experience, certain accountants, they're very in the box, spreadsheets.
Very limited with what they do.
Not so much how they interact with people. They're introverts. Or that's what I hear a lot about the industry.
Yes, true.
The introverts.
True. Yeah. So usually that's the trade. It's like somebody that is very good with numbers. Yeah. They're so good with numbers and focus on that they might lack the experience of the social skill part.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So started dealing with other accountants in the accounting department, and I realized I'm not sure if I could do this for the next 30 years of my life. Working with some introverts. Not all the people were like
Yeah,
that, obviously, but certain people, it's just like, I was at a point in my life, pretty much the old saying, you know, tell me who you hang with, I'll tell you who you are. So I was looking around at accountants. It was like, this is going to be me in the next 30 years, 40 years. It's like, this is not what
You
I
were,
wanted
how old
to
were
do.
you?
I was, I would say probably 21, 22. And I had the experience with my father in the tax practice. So I was like, that's why I was going to go for the CPA exam. I was going to do everything. So I was sitting there and I told my parents, I'm not going to sit for the CPA exam. They're like, so what are you going to do? You just did all this education.
Yes.
What are you going to do with your life? I was like, I don't know. I'm going to figure it out. Got my investment license. Got fully investment license, all the series I need to, you know, do everything investment related. 2008 happens, financial crisis. Worst time to have your investment license.
Wow.
So, you know, I had to figure out what I was going to do to earn a living. Fortunately, I was living at home, had a roof over my head, not too much obligation, so I could take a little bit of risk. So, you know, I picked up, I was working for a construction company at the time.
Yeah.
Working with them, construction got hit hard. So I went from an employee to a contractor and slowly rolled back the amount of hours I was working there. Then I decided to go independent. I was like, all right. So
How old were you?
I would say early 20s.
Wow.
So I was
When
like,
you decided to go independent.
yeah, I decided to, like, you know, figure it out for myself, what I like to call. It's like, hey, what am I going to do with my life? Like, you know, a job isn't for everyone. School isn't for everyone. So this was my situation of like, what am I going to do for myself? I just figured it out, and I took on everything to see what I like, what I don't like. I didn't say no to any opportunity. People were like, hey, I need bookkeeping. All right. What industry? Oh, it's a new industry. Let me pick it on to see what I can learn.
Yeah.
Be like, oh, taxes. Oh, what industry? Or what, you know, you have real estate, you have this. If it was something new, I'll take it on just so I could get the exposure, so I could learn. Because a lot of stuff with taxes, you can actually seem like an expert because you're giving someone a copy of your tax return. So you could seem like an expert because you look at someone's historical records and you know everything about them, and you could pretty much seem really, really professional.
It's like
really
fake the knowledge, very much.
But to actually know what you're doing, going beyond that, if you're sitting down with another professional, sometimes it's not always, you know, you got to keep up. So from there, I just decided to, obviously, now that I look back, 2008 was short-lived. I was able to get to a point that I made enough contacts and build enough clientele, I guess. I was like, all right, I like this. This is what I like. And I always had a niche for taxes since I learned to do it by hand. It's like, all right, I understand what goes on line one. Not putting it into a computer and it just by default goes on line one because anyone could put it into a computer. But I understand how putting it on line one as opposed to line two, how it impacts the overall tax liability, let's say. So I was like, this is interesting. I enjoy it.
That's
not saying we live in a beautiful country. We have a lot of freedoms, but it's like, I don't want to overpay in taxes. I want to pay my fair share, probably a little bit less. But always want to pay, you know, not more than what you should be paying. So I was like, you know, I enjoy this. I like this. So I started going down that route, picking up more clients. And then from there, it was just, I never wanted to, like market and advertise. I don't like to be the center, or even doing this is something brand new for me. So, but since you're such a good friend, I was like, hey, if I'm gonna do it with anyone, let me do it with Brian.
Love it. Thank you.
So you know, I decided to like, all right, if I do enough good work, people will refer me. Because I believe I refer people that I had a great experience with, that did quality work, showed up on time, man and woman of their word. That's what I look for. So I was like, if I treat people the way I want to be treated, it's a kind of, I could pick up clients that way.
Yes, you mentioned a lot of valuable stuff there. Number one is in your story, the fact that I've heard this quote before that says, whenever you don't know what route you want to take or what you want to do in life, what do you want to work on, just work on yourself. Say, whenever you have no doubt, what do you want to work on, just work on yourself. And that's what I feel that you did. It's like while you were figuring things out, one, in school, but also like in work while you were still working.
Yeah.
It's like nowadays you find a typical young man that says, I don't know what I want to do in my life. In the meantime, just like, I'm just chilling, I'm trying to figure it out. It's like, no, you figured it
Playing
out by
video
doing
games.
something, right?
Yeah, by trying.
By trying. Another thing is you took the opportunity of living with your parents, which is an opportunity where you can take risk. You know, like those are the days where you can go out, make mistakes, and like that period of time it's gonna be there just for a season.
Yeah.
So take advantage to take risk, and whatever didn't work out, whatever you didn't like, just try again, try new things. So you did that too. And then the fact that you didn't box yourself in the typical accountant character, like that wasn't for you. You knew that there was more, and you took the risk and went solo or started your own thing at a pretty early stage.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. So you started doing taxes with your dad in New York.
Yep.
At that point, do you guys get it to? Was he doing it full time?
No, he always did it part time.
He always did it part time.
He always worked for a company, and then he did it on the side. Because at that time, it was just strictly taxes. So you got taxes probably February to April 15th.
Yeah.
Like when it's due. So he didn't do bookkeeping or anything like. He did some part-time bookkeeping.
Yeah.
But majority, like, he worked full time, provided like great upbringing. I had a great upbringing, so he provided for the family. Then he always wanted extra for us and my sister, my brother. So he was like, picked up part-time work.
Yeah.
And it was the best blessing for me, because through him I didn't start at zero. I started with at least some knowledge, some experience. So I was able to learn from his mistakes.
Yeah.
So like his ceiling was my floor, which I'm sure every parent wishes for their kids. They don't want them to start where they started. They want them to start where they left off.
Yeah.
And start from there.
That's awesome.
So he definitely did that for me, and had experience from my mom. She had a daycare for many years.
That's awesome.
So she was self-employed, and then from there it was just like, all right, you figure it out.
Yeah,
just
you
like
figured it out.
everything.
And you mentioned also the fact that and that's what I like about you, that I can talk about any industry, because you're that type of person that like to figure things out.
Yeah.
And that's what you want in a tax strategist, because taxes is not constant. Rules are changing constantly. If you are going by the old rules, then you might not be taking advantage of the new book.
Yeah.
Or you might be doing something that can harm you too, just by not knowing. It's like it's not something that they teach you in high school. So that's why you need a professional. Fortunately or unfortunately, it's not something that we grow up just knowing.
Like hopefully we do someday.
Right?
Like
hopefully.
The younger generation, there's something that funny story. I was actually thinking about starting something to educate the younger generation regarding finances.
That's awesome.
So working on that still, but it's one of those things, like you said, that we don't learn in school, but it's something so part of it. You deal with money every day.
Yes.
No matter what it is these days. Yeah.
We use it.
So it's like, I remember going to school. They didn't teach me about finances, and it was a business school. But I remember getting my first credit card there.
Yeah.
They were there, allowing me to fill out the applications.
Yeah,
18,
true.
Here goes your credit card.
It's crazy, it's true.
It's like, I'll never forget, Bank of America, still got them to this day.
Yeah, it's true. I'm fortunate enough that my dad, at a young age, I was talking with my siblings about that too, for a different topic, where we were talking with each other how grateful we are that my dad taught us young finances. We literally grew up in budgeting everything.
That's
talking
awesome.
about even from school, like any expenses that we needed for school, money for lunch or whatever, we had to put it every week or every other week in an Excel sheet, send it to him, and he will reimburse. Like to keep track of everything. And also when we start saving and making money of our own, I grew up in the DR, and in the investment tool that I used to use is CDs. I know that here is not a big deal, but over there, they could pay as high as 10% for your money.
That's awesome.
So we learned to the first paychecks that we start making when we were young, investing in CDs. So by the time, first of all, we pay, well, the three of us, me and my two siblings, we pay cash for our cars. We only bought cars when we were ready to buy them. Always have money saved since we started to work. No debt. No, never, the three of us never have had credit card debt. The only debt that the three of us may have now is just the house.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's awesome.
And that's not common. When you
goes-
grow up, it's like you realize, wow, we are the different ones, I guess.
That goes to show you, like, your father's ceiling was your floor.
Yes.
Like, I'm sure he didn't start out like that, but then he instilled those into you, and you were able to bring it to the next level. Now you
Yes.
purchase cars cash
Yes.
rather than getting finance, which is like, it's interesting because a lot of stuff people talk about leveraging and using banks to purchase stuff, and it's a great tool, but a lot of people don't use it correctly and it could get in trouble.
Yes.
Starting out in 2008 with the financial crisis, that was an amazing learning experience. And it's like
I had to learn the hard way.
Yeah, I had to learn the hard way. And a lot of people, like, I don't know if it has something to do with it. I personally, outside of owning my primary residence, I stick strictly to investments. I never really purchased real estate, which I'm considering it, but never really got into it. Maybe that has something to do with it when I started, who knows. But it's just like, leveraging is a great tool, but you need to understand what you're signing up for.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that, because the way that we view money, it's based on how we grew up seeing from our parents.
Absolutely.
A lot has to do with that. I learned that, and it makes all the sense in the world in the book, The Psychology of Money. You probably have read it before. And he says that most families make financial decisions on the dining table, not in spreadsheets.
Yeah.
It's like a lot has to do out of emotions. And it's proven statistically that a lot of the kids that were raised during the recession of 2008, they're more risk adverse when they grew up. That generation is more risk adverse because they grew up seeing all the struggle that their parents went through, where all the investments got wiped out, all the savings, all the struggle financial a lot of families went through. So statistically, you can even track through data how that can affect families and kids.
Yeah.
So,
like, if you think about it, I don't know how accurate it is, so I don't want to quote it, but something down the lines of, like, most divorces are due to financial issues. Like, it destroys people's lives.
Yeah.
Like, so it's something you definitely want to always not keep in the forefront of your mind, because you don't want to stress over it.
Yeah.
But you want to make important financial decisions. Think it through. Like you said, it's not emotional. It's go into a spreadsheet, figure it out.
Yeah.
And like, hey, this is how much I have. This is how much it's going to cost. Does this make financial sense? And one good thing, and also sometimes bad thing, use technology. We have Google. We have different things that you can look. Sometimes it's a detriment. It could be used for you or against you. Sometimes you get caught on a rabbit hole going down. It was like what I've been doing for the past 30, 45 minutes. But, if you use it correctly and seek out professionals that's like, hey, I got this far. Can you help me get over this little hump? I'm sure most professionals would be like, hey, you got to this part. Let me just answer your question. Because a lot of it's at the beginning phases, like analyzing stuff, which makes the most sense for people.
Yeah, I love that. I want to get because numbers are objective, but there's a subjective part of the professional, which is your opinion. And when it comes to money, there's so many opinions out there.
Yeah.
So, Dave Ramsey, he's finance, it's like budgeting, finance, I don't even know what to call him, but big guy when it comes to finances, which he has a lot of great content, but also have people criticizing his content because he's too extreme on certain things. Obviously, I think we might agree that the concept of make money, save as much as you can, have the least liability possible, try to not have at all credit card debt. In his stream, like, cut it off, don't have credit cards. That's the one that people criticize, but we can, that's a simple one. I feel that his concept is because most people can control themselves.
Well, that's exactly right. If you think about it and you sit there and just say, like, hey, If 2008 happens again and you follow his philosophy, how were you financially impacted? You didn't owe anyone.
Yep.
So maybe tenants stop paying their rent, but it's not like you need to worry about your mortgage, you need to worry about anything.
Yeah.
So it's like, his philosophy, and I can't say his philosophy, across the board, you got to find out what works for you. It's like, that's one philosophy. All right, maybe taking on debt is another philosophy, but just go into any financial decisions with your eyes open, understanding the pros and cons.
Yeah.
Like, how is this going to impact me? And above anything else, I'm going to take a mortgage out for 30 years. How much am I truly going to pay for this property?
Yeah.
Right now, with interest rates higher than pre-COVID,
Yeah.
You sit here and say, all right, I'm purchasing a house for $400,000, or probably unheard of these days. Let's say $600,000.
Yeah.
All right, $600,000. You ask anyone, usually, how much did you pay for this house? It'll be like $600,000. But if you really think about it, the amount of interest you're going to pay over the long term, it's way more than the $600,000.
The numbers that people don't want to do, don't know how to do, don't want to look at.
I don't know how true it is, because these days, let me take that back. I didn't spend the time to do research to see if it's true or not, but I heard they're looking at 50-year mortgages now.
Yes.
And it's just like...
Yeah, 100%.
How long we could get you into debt. So
I know.
It's like Dave Ramsey, great guy. I don't know him personally, but his information, I learn a lot from it. Similar to what we were talking about earlier, you take bits and pieces out of everything you learn.
Yes.
Figure out what works for you.
People need to realize that he's talking to the average American, which the average American, I think the stats that I heard is like 75% of Americans don't even have $5,000 saved up in a bank account. I don't even know what's the stat, probably more higher than that percentage is the amount of people that have credit card debt. So when you speak to that crowd and you tell them, cut your credit card, it's because you want to speak in absolutes, because obviously it's hurting them. They're paying way more than they should. If you use a credit card and then you have the money to pay next month and you do that every month, then you're not going over budget. You're not going over your limits. You're not spending more than what you're making. It's like a simple math.
Yeah, but most people
don't, right? So the reason I brought him up, it's because I noticed that you do what you do because you really like it, and you like helping people.
Absolutely.
You have clients, you're telling me that you do taxes and help clients with minimum wage to clients with net worth of hundreds of millions of dollars. So you see them all. So you see how people think, react with money. So people just view money differently. It's crazy.
Absolutely.
It's crazy.
Hands down.
And that
it's their relation. This, like wealth, I would say, directly relates to how you view money.
Yeah.
What's your relationship with money?
Right. And all that relationship, like we said before, is shaped based on how you grew up seeing money. If you saw scarcity in your house, you're gonna be raised thinking scarcity. If you grew up in abundance, you're gonna think abundantly. So that's the importance of being aware of what you tell your kids, what you expose them to, your language to.
Absolutely.
Something that Ivan and I, we've been changing for a long time. We don't say the word expensive. It bothers me to say that is expensive, that is not expensive. Well, compared to what? You know what I mean? Like, maybe if I say, oh, that is pricey, that is more than that I'm willing to spend, because that's another thing too. I may have the money, but I'm choosing not to spend it there. But that doesn't make it expensive. So it's like changing the language and to try to undo that programming that we were raised with. Because that programming is what keeps you sometimes in a box and doesn't allow you to expand and grow.
Like, I came to realize, like, especially with businesses, the business clients that I have, you don't want cheap, you want affordable. Like, because cheap is cheap.
Yep.
You want valuable. True. You want something that's value. If something's worth $10,000, you get it for $9,000, that's a good bargain.
Yep.
If you get something for $9,000 that's valued at $5,000, that's a horrible deal.
Yeah.
So sometimes it has nothing to do with the price tag, but it has everything to do with how much it's worth. Because if you get a car for $9,000, $10,000, but it's valued at $15,000, $20,000,
Correct.
awesome.
It's relative to what?
Yep. So it's like, it's funny you mentioned that about your wife, because Michelle and I never forget when we used to speak about the budget. She goes, I don't like that. So she came up with my spending plan. And she goes,
that.
Budget's restricting.
Yeah.
It's like the correlation, the hard definition of it. It's like, I can't spend this. But my spending plan, I could spend up to this amount. So it's like going back to something
awesome.
we were talking about, finding the words, finding the philosophies that align with your beliefs, aligns with what you're looking to achieve. Because sometimes sitting down with the right professional, in my opinion, one of the things they bring to the table, if they do it correctly, is understanding what you're trying to achieve and showing you the best way to get there. Because similar, we were talking about our parents, they experience roadblocks that they don't want us to experience, and that's why they teach us. So it's just like, hey, I sit down, I listen to clients, it's just like I repeat back just to make sure I heard them correctly. This is what you're trying to achieve? Yes. This is the best way to do it. I'll answer any questions. They might say, how about this? I saw this on TikTok, I saw this on YouTube. Awesome, great. This is the best way for you. All that other stuff is noise because it's not applicable. Like, I will answer any questions regarding it, but it's like, do you want to spend your time wisely or foolishly? Like, we could sit here and design this plan and get you on your way, or you could stay on all the noise that's not applicable. Or sometimes it's just like, you're not there yet. Like, you're starting from zero. Like, we're going to get you to that point. But it's like, let's wait until you have at least $5,000 in your checking account.
And to get to that point the best way, because there's so many avenues to go to the same goal. But it's to get to that point with the least hassle, with the most efficient way, and that doesn't hurt you at all. I feel that hearing you out, good financial advisors like yourself have like similar traits like very good doctors. I'm so frustrated when I go to the doctors because man, that's a whole different conversation. It's so frustrating, the medical industry. But anyways, like I've noticed that the good doctors, one, they're busy. Obviously they're gonna be busy. They're gonna have so many people wanting to see them. You have to book in advance for months. Understandable. When you're good, you're gonna have people wanting to go to you. But when they take the time, you make the appointment, you sit down with them, they're there. They're present, they take the time, and they ask questions. Those are the great doctors. So the same thing with a good financial advisor. They're gonna be busy too. It's not that a lot of the times you can just pick up the phone and just ask them and get them right away. They're gonna be busy. But when you get the time, and that from experience I can say that, you're there. And you care about the answer and you ask a lot of questions until you have like a very good idea what the goal is. So there's a very good correlation in general, any professional of having the decency, we can call it that, to listen. That's the first step.
To respect. Like I strongly believe in the philosophy, do unto others the way you want to be treated. So it's like, I want to be heard. I want someone to listen to me and understand my viewpoints. Because if you're being honest, anyone who, at least, if you don't listen to the client, or even for your industry, if someone says, like, I'm looking for a 3-2, and you keep on bringing them to apartments that have a studio apartments, it's like, you won't be too successful. So it's like, I sit here and it's like, all right, hear you out. Because let me understand where you're going, where you want to go. Because if like everyone starts at the beginning, everyone has a viewpoint on where they want to go. My job as a financial professional is getting the least resistance to the goal,
to the end goal.
So it's like you sit here and it's just like, all right, what do you want to achieve? Like most people leveraging the tax code, like you could sit here and with taking different tax strategies, doing different things on that you could use in the tax code. It's like you could get tax savings and use that money to reinvest, to save for the future, to purchase a house.
Yeah.
It's just like I tell people, there's nothing, if you do it correctly, like you see people, it's like, hey, I took X amount of dollars and grew it to X. It's like, if you do it slow and steady, there's nothing sexy about it. There's nothing fancy about it. Most people don't achieve their goals because it's consistency.
Yep.
Like you sit here and it's just like, all right, what is it gonna take? It's gonna take $2,000 a month on a good month, on a bad month, when you're happy, when you're pissed off at your wife.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you have your emergency funds to cover any issues that arise. But it's like, for you to achieve this goal, it's commitment.
Yeah.
It's like a marriage, it's like any relationship. You want to do something great, you got to commit to it. You want to build a business, you commit to it. A certain amount of hours a week to have that work. So it's just like most people, I would say most people fail because they're on the fence. They say they want something, but they like the idea of getting it.
Yeah.
They don't truly want it because they don't want to do the work.
Yeah. So, and let's touch on taxes. My first question to you is, legally, as a tax professional, do you believe that people should pay taxes? If you can get away with the legal structure and all the loopholes that exist, should I be paying my taxes?
I would say, first off, I would say the tax code is very, like people say it's gray, or there's a gray area. It's not gray, it's very black and white. The IRS, like, you find out real quick if you ever get audited.
That's true, I've heard that so many times, yeah. So many
So
gray
it's
areas.
like, you know, I think to answer your question, I would say if you leverage the tax code and you pay nothing, good for you.
It's fair game.
It's fair game. It's what, good for you.
Yeah.
Like the same way, if I go out there, if I go out there and say like, hey, I found a car for $5,000. No. You're gonna buy it from me. Same exact car, same mileage, everything, same color, everything I want. But I'm selling it to you for $7,500. Like, why would I spend more? So it kind of doesn't make sense. Same philosophy. If you put yourself in a tax efficient manner, that your tax liability is great, you are paying your fair share.
Yeah, correct.
It just so happens that it's zero.
Love that. It's true. I like the fact that you refer it's black and white.
Yeah.
It's black and white because a lot has to do in a lot of people want to put it into interpretations, which you could, but it's how far you want to take that interpretation and how dangerous can be in the future. You know, because that's another thing too, that you're very good at and knowledgeable. It's you want to do things right, not only because they're right, but also because you want to avoid any issues in the future. Because we all held accountable.
Absolutely.
The millionaire to the one making minimum wage, that we all being held accountable when it comes to taxes.
No, absolutely. And you know as well as I do, it's not going to come at the right time. If you get audited or you get a notice or something needs to be corrected, it's going to come at the worst possible time.
Yes.
So why look over your shoulder?
Yes.
Like I tell everyone, it's just like a lot of the stuff that people say, hey, can I do this? Can you do it? The IRS is very clear. Based on the definition of certain things, no. But the reality is, everyone's risk tolerance is different.
It's different.
So it's just like, do you want to do it? Can you get away? I love the question, can I do this? You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, correct.
You can do whatever you want.
You can do whatever you want.
Like, can anyone put an expense on a tax return and say, you can do whatever you want? Like, I've seen tax returns that it's just like, I go to the person and be like, wow. She goes, I'll never forget, it actually happened this year. Like, wow, so you made $15,000 and you contributed $13,000. She goes, I didn't contribute a dime. It's like, all right, that's what the tax return says. She goes, what do you mean? Like, most people put so much trust in their tax professional that it's like, hey, my taxes are done. Here goes the e-file document. Sign and be on their way and have it e-filed and don't even look at what's being done.
Yeah.
That's why it's so important that you team up with someone who cares, because it's just like, I'm signing the tax return and you're signing the tax return. I don't want the IRS coming to my door for personal matters or for business matters saying, hey, you did this client is saying X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, we go into this with our eyes open, we understand it. And it's like, the way I see it is, when you sit down with the right person, it's just like, why do shady stuff when you could leverage the tax code the right way and get the same benefit?
Yep.
It's like, hey, you're looking to save on taxes. Take advantage of everything that's available to you.
Yeah, correct.
Before you do shady stuff, and you get the same outcome.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to reduce my tax liability by $5,000. All right, let's see what could be done. Available in the tax code, rather than you sitting here making up bogus stuff and putting it on a tax return, and then it's just like,
yeah,
all right, who that achieve? Now you can't sleep for the next, X amount of time because you're looking over your shoulder, or you have a spouse like, hey, was everything done correctly? And you're like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Like,
So would you say in general that the tax code, the more knowledgeable you are about it, the more options you have as a professional to help accomplish that goal. So would you say that it's pretty flexible if people plan ahead? Because that's another thing too. You cannot come on December wanting to make all these changes that you didn't do during the year to try to save for the next period. Would you agree? Like,
no, absolutely.
There has to be a plan in place. So that way you don't find yourself with that time crunch that I've heard even millionaires sometimes having to have those very big decisions at the very end of the year because they didn't plan.
I sat down with one client in particular that just came to mind a few weeks ago, and he goes like, hey, how much can I contribute to my 401k? Like, here goes the limit. I don't like speaking about limits because they change every year.
Yeah.
So I was like, here goes the limit. And he goes, it was the only employee. So I was like, you could contribute. I was like, how much do you think you could contribute? Like $23,500. I was like, if I told you that I could get it way higher, what would you say? Like, you're doing something shady. I was like, I was like, well, the tax code says through your contributions, he was over 50, so he gets additional allotted amount, plus employer match, plus profit sharing, we could get you up to a way higher number. He goes, oh, that's interesting. So he goes, let's do it all now. But he had no payroll. I think we had two. Well, you could probably get away with November, 2 months left in the year.
Yeah.
Like, how much payroll? And then it's a balance because this client in particular, he lives in a state that has income tax.
Yeah.
So it's like, you got to take that into consideration to say like, all right, what am I actually going to pay? Because people say, oh, it's pre-tax. Yeah, how about Social Security?
Yeah.
You got to pay into. How about Medicare? Does your state treat these 401k contributions the same way? Like all the different dynamics that go into a pay stub. So it's actually really interesting. I enjoy doing it.
And for us real estate professionals, what would you say are benefits that we have as real estate professionals that hold a license that we can use to our advantage when it comes to taxes?
Well, I wouldn't say real estate professional. It's just business as a whole, which takes real estate professionals into consideration. It's just like, I want to, because I know there's a lot of stuff on social media, so I want to be very clear about one thing. If there's anything that you're going to do regardless of you having a business, it's usually not tax deductible. Hey, you were going to get a haircut regardless you had a business.
Yeah,
you were going to get your nails done regardless.
Yeah.
You were going to buy clothes regardless.
Yeah.
The IRS makes it very clear. If you could wear it out on non-working days, it's non-tax deductible. So
that's good.
Some people get creative. Was like, hey, I'm gonna put my logo on it.
That's exactly what I was referring. Because again, there's so much information out there. Everybody wants to clickbait and use shorts and give tax advice. Even non-tax professionals giving those type of advice. That you get so many misinformation, stuff like that you can write off vacations, haircuts, clothing. If you create content, what's true or not? If you create content, you can deduct all the equipment, even the traveling. What's real, what's not, what is pushing the limits?
Well, pushing the limits is just like saying, I just like to speak to people as they're a human being. Because everyone is. So it's like, let's speak logically. Like, hey, I'm going to take my whole family on vacation. I'm going to write it off on my business. Like you being a non-tax professional, how does that sound? You're like, It seems a little risky.
Yeah. It's,
Now, are there ways you could do it? In my opinion, from all the reading, all the experience I have, it's all about intention. Like, why are you going on this vacation? Oh, I'm going on this. Right away. You say, I'm going on this vacation. It doesn't qualify.
yeah. Yeah.
Like, you know, it's like if you're sitting here and saying like, hey, I'm gonna go to X location because of a conference. The conference is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm flying in Sunday night. Since it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm leaving Thursday. You have proof of what you're doing and all that stuff. Solid tax deduction.
Yeah.
Now, if you're sitting there, it's just like, hey, I'm going, let's say the same situation. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, flying in Sunday, but I'm staying for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And you only have proof for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of this event. It's just like, all right, what's reality here?
Yeah.
Are you disguising this as a business trip? So it's like, now the reality, if I'm being completely honest, what's the odds of getting to that point? It comes down to risk tolerance.
It comes down to that. So it's black and white. It's black and white. Once you get out of the black and white, then it becomes a risk tolerance game where what are the odds of?
Yeah.
What are the odds of getting audited? What are the odds of getting that deep in the audit? I imagine.
And
too.
is it worth it?
Yeah.
Just like,
and is it worth it?
Like, all right, this $10,000 deduction. Oh, it's saving me $10,000. No,
Yeah.
it's saving you your tax bracket on the $10,000.
Correct.
So it's saving you, let's say you're in a 20% tax bracket, it's saving you $2,000.
Yeah.
Is it worth your peace of mind? Only you can answer that.
Correct.
Only you can answer that. It's like, I don't like looking over my shoulder for my personal reasons as well as for clients.
Yeah.
So it's like, once again, like I said, if you have a tax code that allows so many things you could take advantage of, like, go to that first.
Correct. Yeah.
Go to take advantage of everything that's possible, and then go from there. I was like, you know, there's so many things through 401ks, through the Augusta rule that you could take advantage of, through, like, you know, it's a lengthy topic, but hiring your kids. There's so many things that you could sit there and just like, all right, can I do this to reduce my tax liability? Once again, like we were talking about with the vacation, what's your intention? Can you hire your kids and say they're working for you?
Yeah.
Well, no, you can't. Would you hire Joe Schmo from the corner and pay him $2,000 when he's not doing anything for you?
Yeah.
No, you got to treat your kid like the IRS, in my opinion, is very clear about like arm's length transactions, substance, different things like that. So if you won't do it to a non-family member, you can't do it with a family member. If you can hire your kids and the kid's 2 years old, I'm gonna pay him $15,000 a year for what? It's just like for modeling. I always say you better have a strong case proving that to hire a model, it would have cost $15,000.
It would have cost that, yeah.
If you have a strong case, then we could kind of have a conversation to dissect it and see what's reality.
Yeah.
But that's really the strong. You sit here. There's so many. I have seen so many.
I imagine
stories. And it's just like I had one client that was like, "Hey, my kids are working for me. I put them on payroll."
That's a typical one too. For writing off vacation and stuff. It's like hire your kids. Like I keep hearing that.
And it's a beautiful thing that's available. And
that it's available.
Do it. But it's just like, all right, is your kid working in your business? And like, you know, you want to treat them correctly. Can you prove it?
Yeah.
Like, what are they doing? And are you fairly compensating them?
Yeah.
If you're saying like, hey, the janitor I had previously, I was paying them $500 a month. Well, my son's doing such a good job, or my daughter, or whoever for you, I'm gonna pay them $2,000 a month. It's just like, all right. Now it comes back, let's see everything all the way through. What's the odds of you being audited? You might get away, you might not.
You might not, yeah.
If you do, you got to provide proof.
Yeah.
What would be your justification?
Yeah.
It's like you sit here and it's just like, all right, most people say, oh, I could pay my kids up to the standard deduction.
Yeah.
Most people. It's really, in my opinion, the way at least I see it and most professionals see it, it's income shifting. You're taking your income out of your tax bracket, which is a higher tax bracket, and shifting it to your kids, which are the lower, 0 to a lower tax bracket. There's people that do it with family members that they're paying.
Yeah.
Like, let's say I had one guy with his brother. his brother, he was giving his brother money, disabled, unique situation. So I was like, hey, why don't you have your brother work for you? And you pay them for the work he's performing.
Yeah.
And you could give him the same $2,000, now it comes tax deductible. Yes, you need to pay Social Security, yes, you need to pay all these different variables, but the money's going out. At least get a tax benefit on
For it, yeah.
And more importantly, the way I see it is going back to, I don't know if we were talking about it here or prior, people view stuff differently when they work for it.
Yeah.
Like the brother is just like, all right, work for it. Now he's earning. He's not freeloading, because the conversation I had, he viewed that freeloading and all this stuff. It's like he's earning an income. He's working for it. It's like a lot of, like the story, we could go on a tangent, but a lot of great research has come out that's like when you feel like you have something to work for, you're earning something, like self-worth is higher.
100%. So would you say the system is designed to, if you know all the rules, is designed, if you really know all the rules, especially now with AI, which is it's an interesting topic now, because I hire a tax strategist. I'm limited to his knowledge, right? Since always it's been like that. I'm limited to the knowledge of that person when it comes to how knowledgeable he is with the options that he can play based on the goals that I want. Now with technology and AI, you have a computer thinking for you and helping you think, and I'm sure, and I want to hear your opinion here, probably definitely not replace the professional, not yet, but allows to have access to process the information faster, more efficient, and give you more options, because that's what it is too. It's having the options.
Especially now with AI, I think specifically in my industry, but I think it's applicable for numerous industries. Like I probably won't be replaced with AI. I'll be replaced with someone who knows how to leverage AI. That's why I learned AI and I use it a lot.
Love that.
In my industry, because it's like you said, your tax strategists don't know everything, but if it's a quality individual or a quality professional, they want to learn more. Every single day I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm building.
Because every AI tool give you the quality. The quality of the answer is related to the quality of the question. It's the user. Ultimately, it's the user.
Absolutely. So you could sit here and it's just like, all right, stuff I would say I'm way smarter than I was 6 months ago, 3 months ago, because I'm constantly learning, I'm constantly growing.
Yeah.
Do I claim to know everything? Absolutely not. Anyone who is a fool, in my opinion. But I'm constantly growing to learn my industry inside and out. I'm constantly developing. I'm constantly dissecting, like, the big, beautiful bill when it came out and all this stuff. Like, what does it mean? Because people are like, oh, it says this. Awesome. But what does that mean? What does that translate to? Like, there's the same way to get to your goals. Which path do you want to take?
Yeah. So, I love that. So it's the professional will be replaced in your field, at least, by AI. It's more the person that knows how to use the tool. That's powerful, because it could give you a lot of the information and the data. It can be so organized and integrated so beautifully. It's just insane, and across the board, any field, with doctors, and I'm doing that too. I'm so frustrated, like I share with you, and with the medicals and doctors, that I go to them, I hear them out, I get all my tests, I bring my test, upload an AI, and get a second opinion. Always, I have to have in my medical records a second opinion, and usually it's like there's at least 50% of information that I didn't get from the doctor. Obviously, it's not the doctor, and it's not that I'm trusting 100%, but because the professional, again, only takes 5 minutes to talk to me, AI is there, and it will take as much time as I would dedicate, then I slowly can process the information better.
I always tell people, like, even with tax planning, tax strategy, estate planning, all this stuff.
Yeah.
I care about what I do. I care about my clients, but no one's gonna care more than you. You got to meet any professional like halfway. you got to take your job serious. Just as like, hey, I tell them this is a relationship. You're coming to the table. I'm willing to give 100%. Like, you could give less. I'm fine with that. But you gotta contribute something.
Yes.
Because I could do everything, but if you don't keep me informed,
100%.
I don't know what I don't know.
And you mentioned estate planning, which is a big deal. I mean, it's something that, as a professional, I keep hearing, but I had no idea what it was. As far as the details, what is it? I keep transacting and helping people buying properties under a trust, but I didn't know all the minutiae of what it means. Why do people do that? Why is, you know what I mean? And it's not that I'm asking you, which I might want to hear what you have to say, but what I'm saying is, being around professionals like yourself, that everybody that you surround yourself with and all the people that you work with do have estate plannings, especially the income bracket. The higher the income bracket, the more they plan in that aspect. I noticed going through the process myself that you can have the best attorney helping you put it together, but there's the part of updating the trust and funding the trust, which in another consultation with you, going in questions, I realized a few things that we missed throughout the process. But it needed us and our care and be there and take the time to be able to identify those. When I sat down with my attorney and we did the process, she gave us so many examples. And even you can hear in the headlines, people like, I think it was Prince,
that was a big one.
It was millions and millions inheritance and didn't even have a trust, didn't have a will, and had to give out what, 30% in
Well, I would, it's funny, people look at me weird when I say this, but I would say everyone has an estate plan. People like, really?
Everyone
like,
should have one?
No, everyone has one.
Has one, yeah.
Just, it's the least favorable one. The state's the one who implements it.
Correct, it's true. It's
so
true.
Like, if
because they're the ones that dictate what to do with it.
If you die,
you give the power to
probate.
them. Yes.
And now they take a portion of your estate. If you didn't have a will, they determine, kind of try to figure out
the decision
what you
makers.
want. So it's just like, everyone has an estate plan. It's just, do you want one to be written by you so someone knows what you wanted? Or do you want to sit here and be like, you know what, I'm going to trust the state. They could take their fair share, draw it out, and funny situation that I experienced.
Once they take their share, they don't care what happens with the rest. That's the reality.
It's like, funny story, I had one client, great couple in New York, and it's just like, they went through probate. It's a public process. Majority of people do trusts, kind of because of the privacy. I would say one of the main reasons. But it's a public process. Like, out of nowhere, this girl popped up and was like, that was my dad. It's just like, we never saw you.
Yeah.
We never heard from you. Like, what? And my client, she was a good friend as well. We're sitting here, it's just like, all right, do I just want to pay her something to get her out of this equation, or do I want to drag this out for the next X amount of time? It's like, I don't know, it's a decision to be made. So it's like, when you come to estate planning, I would say everything, it comes to a time in life where you're going to have to deal with it, or your kids are going to have to deal with it, or your loved ones are going to have to deal with it.
You don't do it for you. You don't do it, I mean, yes, for you, but big part of it, it's not for you. It's for your kids.
And it's for your kids, but it's also to make sure your privacy stays intact.
That's
because
one too.
If it drags out in probate, it becomes public information.
Yes, it's true.
You have a daughter. I have a daughter. I don't want her finding true love from this guy who was going through the news. Oh my gosh, she inherited X amount of dollars. Before she knows it, she has a whole bunch of people knocking on her door saying, oh, I love you. Oh, I'm sorry, I never meant to do this X amount of years ago. And it's just like, all right, just keep things private. If you're a private person, like, some people are like the flashlights and all that stuff, but it's like, for financial affairs, you definitely want to keep it private, because, like, you're a target now. If people know everything about you, you have wealth, you have all this stuff, you're a target. They're quick to sue. Like, I've dealt one case in particular from a business from a business stance. You're sitting here and it's just like, hey, whether a case has merit or not, you need to defend it. So like someone could come to you and be like, hey, he told me XYZ, or he did whatever. In my real estate dealings, he told me this and it wasn't true, or he kept my, the list could go on. I don't want to speak for your industry. And it's just like, whether it's true or not, you need to defend it.
You need to defend it.
You need to go to court and sit in front of a judge or arbitrator or mediator, and they need to decide, like, and you need to pay fees and all this stuff. Now, estate planning to a certain extent comes into place when, if all that happens and all else fails, and you lose a case, how your assets are protected if it's set up correctly.
It felt nice to, once you put it together, to be able to make the decisions. It was difficult. It is difficult, and puts you to think and analyze who are the people that serve that you can trust in certain areas, that you trust the judgment. It was an interesting process to go through, but at the same time, it felt nice to be the decision making of those things, even when you're gone, right? But I love the fact of how you mentioned it. Everyone has estate planning. It's just that most people are not the executor. The government ended up being the executor of what's going to happen with that after you're gone. And the language, going back to the language, the term trust fund kids, it's you're boxing that to the wealthy, the rich, and when in reality, based on what you're sharing, so would you say that everyone should have a estate plan?
If you have assets,
you have access, you should have a estate plan, right?
Like, I'll say it like this. If you're okay with someone else saying how your assets should be distributed and where they should go, you don't need a estate plan.
You don't have to.
If you want control, saying, hey, this non-for-profit is important to me. I want to contribute 50% of my wealth.
Yeah.
All right. Then a trust puts in place a document that a trust, by its definition, or at least the way I like to describe it, is a trust can't die. It's not an individual, so it lives on beyond you. That's why you want to fund the trust and put your assets in a trust document, because it lives on beyond you. Now, when you pass away, they view the document. It says, this is what XYZ wanted. Yeah. This is the way they want it distributed. Do you still need to go to probate? Majority of the time, but it's minimal. It's for stuff that you didn't put in your will.
Yeah, correct.
And it's truly, like, sometimes people say, hey, should I put my car in my trust or something like that? It's a depreciating asset. Like, certain things are not necessary. Sometimes states don't allow it for certain things. So you could sit here and just like, going back to what we were saying, what's your objective? What do you want to achieve in life? Yeah. Like, one of the biggest points for me, or when I guess my business change and my life change, was when I always knew Michelle. We dated, as you heard. We dated in junior high school. I've known her since I was 13. But it's like, when we decided to get back together, it's like, as a man, you want to provide. Yeah. So it's like, I had to bring my game to the next level. Like, how can I ask her father for her hand in marriage if I could barely support myself? Yeah, yeah. So I wanted that solid foundation that we could build on. You can't build anything on sand. Yeah. You could, let me rephrase that. You could. You could try.
It's like taxi. You could sell them any stuff, but does it make sense?
Yeah.
Nope. But you could. It's true.
So it's like, it's all about, I'm big on, all right, what do you want? And work backwards. What does that look like? All right, if speaking about businesses, I want to grow a business to $100 million in sales. All right, $100 million, let's get specific. By when? All right, so what does that look? I want to do it in 10 years. Awesome. Where do you need to be in 9 years? Where do you need to be in 8 years? And go all the way down to 1 year. Yeah. And then look at it. I'm not the one to tell them this is unrealistic, this is not possible. Correct. The numbers will tell them. Yeah. And then they make a decision for themselves, because really what it comes down to is, do you want to put the work in or not? Yeah. Because I have seen business people go from zero. We hear stories all the time to 100 million, 10 million, it's stories are all over the place. Yeah. So you could sit here and just like, all right, 100 million, 10 years out. Year one, you need to be at 1 million. Year zero, you're at zero. Are you willing to do the work necessary? And what does that look like for you to get to 100 million?
Yeah.
What does that look like on a weekly basis? What are your numbers? How many people do you need to call to get the sales? Like, you got to know your numbers. That's why it's so important.
And if you want to go deeper, you can ask further questions. Why? You know what I mean? We're so easy to put a number, and big numbers too. I was telling Ivana the other day, nowadays there's this big discrepancy between people and goals and dreaming. People, the names that always come around is Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk, billionaires, Warren Buffett. Those are billionaires, like money that we couldn't spend in this lifetime. They couldn't spend in this lifetime if they want to. And those are the people that most people look up to. But man, you can have a very good quality of life with so much less than that.
Oh, absolutely.
It's the billions and hundreds of millions at some point doesn't get, obviously no amount of money guarantees the happiness. But what I mean is that we idolatry those big numbers and don't realize that we can do so much with, starting with the 6 figures and even with the 7 figures, well invested, a good tax planning, budgeting. It's going backwards. It's why the number?
Yeah, because it's funny you mentioned that. I was just sitting down with someone probably a few years ago, and it's just like, all right, you're gonna grow this company to whatever number they said. Like, all right, awesome. If you were working for someone else, how much do you need today? 200,000. All right, how much do you think you need in 3, 4, 5 years? $200,000. You're like, all right, are you content with $200,000? Yeah. You're never gonna make more than 200,000.
Yeah.
Because you don't have the hunger.
Yeah.
It doesn't fit in your plan. Your belief is limited at $200,000.
And even that, you have to be realistic with yourself.
Yeah.
If you're okay with that, that's okay, but you have to be okay with that.
Yeah, you have, like, it's funny you mentioned that, because it's just like, all right, you need to be cool with it.
Yeah.
You need to be, like, I tell everyone at the beginning of the call, it's not my job to judge. I don't judge your expenses. I don't judge where you choose to make your money. But funny story. Like I had a conversation with someone, and they're like, hey, God family business. And he was kind of like, he was arrogant. Let's just leave it like that. So like, this is interesting. He goes, what's interesting about it? Like, based on your expenses, it's not like it's you, family, business, and God.
Yeah.
Based on what I'm looking at.
Yes.
And I was like, I don't want to be confrontational.
I don't want to judge.
You want to be true. You want to be real with yourself. Like, most people say something.
Yes.
But are you aligned with what you're saying? And that's just being congruent.
Yeah.
Because, like, all right, God family business. Like, all right, it should be across the board. How much God family? How much time do you spend? And we have a great relationship now, and we talk about it. We haven't spoken about it recently, but we speak about it to this day. It's just like, all right, where do you spend your time? If those are your priorities, where do you spend your time?
Yeah.
All right, is it aligned with that? Where do you spend your money? Is it aligned with that? Because a lot of people, when they have friction or different things, it's usually internal, if we're being honest with ourselves.
Yeah, 100%.
Because you don't believe you could do something because you know what you're doing behind the scenes.
Yeah.
You don't believe you're going to hit the target because you know it takes you calling 10 people every single hour and you're only calling 2.
Yeah.
So
yeah, time and money are the 2 big revealers of people's priority.
Yeah.
Where they spend their time, where they spend the money, that's it. Don't. You can say as much as you want through your mouth, but show me the money. We can track what you do with it, and show me your time, show me your schedule, and that will be your priority, period.
Like, you could sit here, like I have a lot of conversations, and you sit here, and it's just like, all right, what do you want out of life?
Yeah.
Because that's the most, and they'll be like, oh, I want to grow. That's awesome. I want to grow business to X amount. This is what I need. Great. What do you want out of life?
Which is a deep question that I do believe that most people, to the core, are afraid to go deep and find out. That's the reality. Stuff that come to mind And I've had to ask myself that and go deeper, especially when it comes to the finance and money part, because I don't want to be comfortable, but I want to be content. And going back between the two and making sure that whenever I feel, whenever I'm feeling a certain way, I try to measure if I'm content or I'm comfortable, because I always want to push myself. I'm ambitious, right? I want more, especially when it comes to growing income, money, investments, and all of that. So we have had to have conversation on what is it for? What do we enjoy? For example, we enjoy traveling. Then, as we grow financially, what would that do for us? Traveling more comfortable, staying in nicer hotels, doing nicer experiences. One of those is and I joke with Ivana, every time that I board a plane, I want to turn left. I want to turn left.
I know what you mean.
We started, you know what I mean? I want to turn left.
Yep.
If you've been in enough planes, you know, especially those big planes with a first class, very high-end class, you board through the middle and left, there's a curtain that most people and people sitting in premium and economy don't get to see. You only see videos and pictures online. You don't get to get in that side. We travel a lot. We board so many planes. We started back in premium, flying Spirit, the cheapest flights ever, working our way out to comfortably do economy, to now doing premium. We want to turn left. So those are the stuff that you, going to your point, be clear with yourself on why. And if it's
Clear
for
and
yourself, clear and honest. That's one side when it comes to ourselves. Impacting people, helping people, donating. Look to your local charity. We do mission trips. That all of that is included too.
Also, make sure, more importantly, since you know, if this falls into who you are, be aligned with your spouse.
Yep.
Like make sure you and them are on the same page.
Yeah.
Because if you're going left, you're going right. They're going right. That's gonna be difficult.
Yes.
If you're a saver, they're a spender. Like the ideal situation. Like I was speaking to a friend the other day, and it's like the only thing or the outcome is like, hey, I know I'm gonna achieve my goals. The only question is when. Am I gonna achieve my income goals by the time I reach X age, because I'm doing all the right things to get there? Or something I'm working on is going to catapult this because it's going to happen sooner. One of my businesses is going to be purchased.
Yeah.
Something I'm working on is going to be turned into something huge. So it's like, you know, at the very least, what I try to do for all clients, it depends on their needs and all the stuff, is put them in place that they are going to achieve their goals. At some realistic time frame. The only question is, are you going to do it sooner or are you going to ride it all out?
Love that.
And sometimes, you know, you got to be honest with yourself and you got to be honest with clients.
It comes down to that.
You know, hey, you're making $20,000 a year. $10 million, I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just going to show you the numbers of what it looks
Correct,
like.
yeah.
Probably that's a little facetious, but like, you know, putting even $200,000. All right, $200,000. You're spending $20,000, $30,000 a year on eating out. You know, let's say 25% goes to taxes, all the different variables. Like, where's your money going?
Yeah.
Like, pay yourself first. Take it off the top. What I'm a big advocate of, if you save first, you'll spend whatever's left.
Yeah.
Rather than spending first, be like, I'll save whatever's left. There's gonna be nothing left.
Yeah.
You'll find a way. Life's
100%.
gonna happen. Life's gonna happen. So it's
And
definitely,
either way, it's fine as long as you're okay with it.
you're cool with it. Like I tell, like
Then
people
don't
laugh.
complain.
People laugh. It's just like, hey, what do you think about this? You're like, do you like it?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Great.
I love that.
It's
Yeah.
like it's not my life.
Yeah.
I make my decisions. Now, if you're asking me my opinion, I wouldn't do it for XYZ, or I would do it, whatever it is. But it's just like, you know, you got to be happy. When you go to sleep at night, you got to feel content. I don't want to make that decision for you.
Yeah.
I give you all your options. I lay it out, give you all the planning. I'll do everything until you're blue in the face, till I'm blue in the face, to best support you, serve you, and help you. But at the end of the day, I would say a good financial professional, the decision's in the client's hands.
Yeah.
All they could do is present it. Say like, all right, these are your options. Which way do you want to go? Address any questions, obstacles, concerns. Be like, let's put this in place. Because I used to do a lot of complimentary consultations.
Yeah.
But I came to realize it doesn't serve anyone.
Yeah.
Because unless you're departing with some sort of financial means, you're not going to take it seriously.
Yeah.
You know how many people I did complimentary and did some of my best work? They refer me a ton of clients, but they haven't implemented anything.
Sell. Yeah.
It's just like, and it's like, all right, for me, being completely honest, it's not about the money. If I truly want to impact a lot of people, I got to make sure everyone's moving with me. Everyone's moving forward. And it's just like, now, it's never a waste of time because I always learn, but it's like, how did I get closer to my goal if I want to serve so many people if they're not moving forward? I spoke with them, they yesed me, they said they're going to move forward, but now they're not implementing them. So did I truly help them?
Yeah.
Be like, probably not.
That's powerful.
Because if they pass away, the other thing going back to estate plans, just like, you know, certain people put them in place because they want to make sure that going back there, you know, they want to make sure their kids don't get taken advantage of. They want to make sure everything's in place that, hey, I could only speak for myself as an example. Probably when I was late teens, early 20s, I probably weren't mentally prepared to receive any large sums of money.
Yeah, most people.
Like, most people aren't. So it's like, hey, do you want to put something in place that your kids will get your funds, you know, when they turn X?
Yeah.
Do they need to do certain things? You know, put all those things in place and keep it private. That's the number one thing that I hear about when people are speaking about estate plans, is privacy and don't want to avoid probate.
Yeah.
Want to avoid probate, which does away with privacy.
Yeah.
And it's costly. So I tell people, it's just like, all right, do you want to pay for it on the front end, or do you want your kids to pay for it on the back?
Correct.
Because going through the probate process is not cheap.
Correct.
And it eats into your estate.
But it's definitely cheaper estate planning.
It's a fix.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, this is what it's going to cost for your estate plan.
Love that.
And you have the peace of mind.
100%. Man, these have been awesome. I know that we can go for hours and hours so much, because you're very passionate what you do. And this is something that I'm passionate about too when it comes to growing financially, because money can do so much good. It's not everything, but in the right hands can do so much good for yourself, for your family, for others. And it's necessary. Mario, which is a common friend, he says it all the time. We're blessed to live in a country that allows us to and brings so much opportunity, especially as an immigrant like myself. I can appreciate that. It's and not taking advantage of that opportunity to some extent, I feel that it's an irresponsibility. And having people in your corner like yourself that can advise and help, and they're passionate and caring, man, it's a blessing for me. So I appreciate the time. And it was another, having this conversation, it's another confirmation of all the stuff that I read with money, and everybody that is listening. Before these changes, this needs to change first. It's mental, it's emotional, it's psychological. All of that come first before everything changes. So
you need to prepare for the gift before it's received.
100%. Love that. Okay, that's a wonderful quote to close it out, man. Thank you so much, Ruperto, and looking forward to keep connecting, brother.
All right.
Thank you, man. This was awesome.